As Q1 earnings season draws to a close, I am wrapping things up by taking a look at the companies who have yet to report, who could move the markets, and today we're going to take a look at Adobe. Check it out. So Adobe's going to post their earnings the day after Oracle on June 12th. If you haven't checked out that video, please do so. And let's get into the charts to see what the potential move can be on this report.
Okay, so let's jump into Adobe, who is going to be reporting earnings the day after Oracle, June 12th. And we are going to start with this monthly chart here. Again, another earnings analysis. Let's mark out the all-time high, $768. Let me mark this here, all-time high. And that was, again, we're looking at the monthly chart. This was hit in 2021, November of 2021. And you can see we are quite the ways off of that all-time high. If we measure to where we are currently today, when I'm recording this, we're down 40%, $282. And let's just come over and look at the weekly to see where we are. The most recent high that we had here on Adobe, we'd have to go to January 29th of 2024 when it was at $638.60. And from there, it really just started a decline. Lower highs, drop, lower high, drop, lower high, drop. And then it found a bit of a bottom here, again, along with everything else in April, around that April 7th time period. And interestingly enough, this support here from that drop off of the tariff tumble, the Liberation Day, if we go back and look to the left, that lines up with where the price action was May 8th of 2023. And even back to some of the price areas from the bear market lows of 2022. So that's a significant area of support where Adobe found a bounce. So that's pretty interesting just to see that that area is strong. There's support there. Actually, if I just draw a line here, you can see what I'm talking about in case visually you're not able to see it. And then let's hop over to the daily and take a look at the last few earnings reports to see what has happened. And so if we start here by looking at March, again, it's difficult to look at things through a balanced perspective, anything from March and April because of all that tariff tumult that was going on. But we did have a rather significant gap down here from the close to close. That was a $60 move. So that was pretty significant. 13.86% move down on Adobe from March 12th. If we come back to the previous earnings report, this was in December 11th. Again, this closed at $549.83 and then down to its close here, $75.65. So 13.76% drop in December. Now let's keep going back. If we come to September 12th, here we go. The same thing here. We were at 585.74, and what happened? This thing gapped down again. So it dropped almost $50, $49.80, 8.5% drop. So the last three earnings reports, gaps down. Keep that in mind. I like those probabilities when things are due for a flip in the other direction. And for the last gap up on Adobe, you have to go back to June 13th of last year. So let's measure this out from its close off of this candle to the close here. We had a $67 move for a 14.62% pop. And just for the heck of it, let's go back one more time and we can see another gap down. So out of the last five earnings reports for Adobe, 4 out of the 5 were gap downs. The only gap up was June of last year. Now, coincidence that we're in June now and it's due? Maybe, maybe not. But let's take a look and see where it currently is on the chart. And so here we are. You can see that we are above that 100 simple moving average on the daily. We are above the 10-day exponential moving average. So it has found a bit of a home up here. It did get dropped on the 2nd of June. It found support off that 50 EMA, and then the next day it found support off that 20 EMA. But it is stabilizing up here around that 100. Now, if we just look above, we could see that there is a lot that this thing would have to fight through if it was to make a push. Starting with the point of control here on the VRVP, But then we look at the moving averages. We have the 200 SMA on the daily, we have the 50 SMA on the weekly, the 200 SMA on the weekly, the 50 on the monthly, and the 100 on the weekly. So this thing can move higher, but it's going to have quite the battle in order to make a significant move, starting with the point of control. And if we measure this out from where Adobe is trading at today, $417.30, up to that point of control, that would be a $23 move before it would face some resistance. So that would almost be a 6% pop there. And then from that point of control, what we have is that 200 on the daily as the next point of resistance. And that would be a $38.96 move, almost a 10% move off of the price where it is now. And again, for it to push through these other moving averages, it would just have to have a super strong report, great forward guidance, a great beat and raise. Will it get that? We don't know. But again, it is due, right? In terms of structure and patterns that we see here on the chart, let me move this out of the way. Again, these patterns you'll find really across the board here, but we do have a bit of an inverted head and shoulders, kind of like what we saw on Oracle. We are up at that neckline area right now. And again, if we just drill down into this even further, we could see that there was a double bottom pattern like on a lot of tickers here from those April lows, and it's broke out of that. Now, in terms of the RSI here on the daily, if we look, we could see that we are not overbought at this point on the daily. On the weekly, we are not overbought. On the monthly, we are not overbought. We were, if we go back to May 19th, we were overbought here at this period of time, but some profit taking hit has come in, and really we've just been moving sideways since then. So in terms of a bullish move higher, the price areas that we would want to be looking at would be that 441.07 area right here, and that 200, that 456.64. That would be realistic. So we'll put the best case scenario is going to be right here at this 200 on the daily if it can get a gap up. So watch that 456.50 price area. And then in terms of a move down, again, we have support below us. Again, you'll find this really on the majority of charts right now, but you do have the 100 here. My thoughts would be that if it does gap down, it will take that 100 out because it's been below it here in the last few days. And really what we'd want to look at will be this 100 SMA on the monthly, this 387.11, and that would fill this existing gap that's right here. So pay attention to that area, so that 100 on the monthly, and if it shoots down through that 50 SMA on the daily. So we're going to watch these two areas for a bearish move to the downside.
So there you have it, my take on Adobe earnings. It's coming up on June 12th, and let me know in the comments below, what type of move are we going to get here? Are we moving higher? Are we dropping lower? Do the bulls or the bears win? Let me know in the comments below, and smash that subscribe button on your way out, and I'll see you in the next video.